Garfield, one of the most popular comic strip characters of all time. So, of course, whenever something is popular, it is most likely going to get a movie. And Garfield got 2 live-action movies that nobody liked, at all. But did you know they made 3 animated movies about him? Well then, let's talk about them. So, Garfield Gets Real came out on October 1st of 2007, and the movie takes place in a comic strip world where comic strip characters live, and they work at this comic studio where they make comic strips. But here's the thing though, Garfield is tired of making comic strips. He's just tired of doing the same thing, like kicking Odie off the table or abusing John a lot actually. But Garfield finds out that there's a poster that can send comic strip characters to the real world. But here's the thing though, if the comic strip characters go to the real world, there is no going back to the comic strip world. So Garfield goes into the real world, and Odie too, mostly because Odie left his bone for some reason. And it's up to Garfield and Odie to get back to comic book world, or else Garfield might get canceled. I don't have a lot of things to say about this movie, because this movie is kind of forgettable, if I'm being honest here. So the story is very generic. It's just Garfield is in our world, and he has to go back to his comic book world, or else he will get canceled. It's such a generic story to me. It's just super generic. The animation is okay, I guess, for a $10 million movie, but I can't say it's amazing. So the one thing that I do like about the animation is that some of the character designs actually look pretty good in this movie. But then there are other character designs that just look weird or just terrible. Like if there were no effort put into them. The other thing that I like about the animation is that whenever the characters are in the comic book world, they have these outlines on them, which that was one detail that I did like about the movie. And the biggest problem with this movie would have to be is that this movie is not funny, which is weird because the creator of Garfield, Jim Davis, wrote this movie. Yeah, he wrote this, which is very surprising to me. Now, what do I think of the movie? Well, it's a very weak movie and mediocre. It just doesn't feel like Garfield to me. So, overall, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. Just a mediocre movie. So, Garfield's Fun Fest came out on August 5th of 2008. And the movie is about this talent show, and they have it it's done every single year in the comic strip world, and Garfield is whenever a fun fest happens, Garfield always wins, whenever there's a fun fest. But here's the thing, though. Garfield, like every single time, whenever Garfield wins the fun fest, he always does it with Arlene. But this time, Arlene wants to do something different instead of just telling jokes. She wants to dance with Garfield, but Garfield doesn't want that. But what's even worse is that there's this handsome cat named Ramon, which is the villain of the movie. So Ramon dances with Arlene, but Garfield loses his funniness. He's not funny anymore. So he needs to find a way how to be funny again. Until Garfield, no, not Garfield, Odie actually finds this map. This map to find funny water. So it's up to Garfield to drink the funny water so he can become funny again. This movie is a waste of time. The adventure is completely pointless. The funny water wasn't even funny water. It was just regular water. The characters are very forgettable. The animation is sometimes it can look like it can look like a PlayStation 2 cutscene. The jokes are really, really, really bad. Sure, Garfield Gets Real was not a funny movie, but at least I can say it was trying, I guess. But this is painfully unfunny. And the Fun Fest barely appears in this movie. Like in the movie, it's a big thing in the comic book world. But we don't see the Fun Fest that much in the movie. As a matter of fact, the only time when we see the Fun Fest is near the ending, which is what's the point of Fun Fest? So overall, this movie is a waste of time. I give this movie a 4 out of 10. Don't watch it. So, Garfield's Pet Force came out on June 16 of 2009, and the movie begins on the planet Dorcom. And Dr. Wily shows the king his gun that he made, but the king doesn't actually care about the gun. He just wants a queen because he just feels so lonely. And then we meet our main villain, Vetvix. So when the king and Vetvix see each other, they just get married immediately. We are what? I think 5 minutes into the movie and they just get married immediately. But here's the thing though. Vetvix didn't actually come to become a queen. As a matter of fact, she only came just to get the gun that Dr. Wily made. The reason why she wants the gun is that she wants to make these zombies that switches body parts. If you get two people and then you shoot at them, they switch heads, which is just weird, man. It's weird and creepy at the same time. But anyways, while that chaos is happening, Dr. Wily calls the Pet Force. So the Pet Force comes and try to stop her, but she uses the gun to turn them into her slaves. While all of that is happening, Dr. Wily gives Garzuka some DNA juice. So mostly Garzuka has to find Odie, Numo, and Arlene, so that way he can get a new Pet Force, because his Pet Force are now Vetvix, one of Vetvix zombies. So anyways, so Garzuka has to go into the comic book world in like Garfield Gets Real and Garfield's Fun Fest, so that why he can like give the juice to Odie, Numo, and Arlene, so that way they can stop Vedvix. So Garfield's Pet Force, the movie is based on a book series that was made by Jim Davis. And do I think that the movie did a good job of, how can I say this, capturing like the book's story? Not really. It's like the story for Garfield's Pet Force, like the movie, is literally just a crossover between like the Garfield Gets Real and like the Pet Force. That's it. That is literally it. The characters are okay, but also forgettable. The animation can sometimes look like a PlayStation 2 cutscene. It can also look like it can get like the animation can get very boring just looking at it. And the jokes are okay. Not amazing, but not awful either. Overall, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. It's a very forgettable movie, and a mediocre one. The biggest problem with these animated Garfield movies is that they don't feel like Garfield. Like, they don't feel like the comic strips. Like, the people who made these movies knew what Garfield was, but instead of just making a movie based on the comic strips, they just make Garfield go on these stupid adventures. Like Garfield goes into the real world, or Garfield going on this pointless adventure, or Garfield meets a superhero version of himself. It's just makes them generic kids movies. Sure, they are better than the live action movies, but at the same time, they are nothing to write home about. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, give it a like, and please subscribe for more future videos. See you next time. Bye.